And we're recording. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another edition of Ask a Therapist. I'm here with Nick Dietrick. And before we get started, Nick, there seems to be an outcry from the public that they want to hear the theme song for this show. So we got to play this first. So here I am with local licensed professional counselor, therapist, Nick Dietrick. So Nick, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself as we get started here.
Well, I appreciate it, Brock. Thank you. And the jingle is phenomenal, by the way. Just keep it going. It's going to go viral at any moment. So I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm also a Hope attendee. My family and I attend the McKinney campus. My wife and I are leaders in Reengage at the McKinney campus and serve at that campus as well. So Hope is our home, and so glad to be able to do this with the people that are able to see it and get some information. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I worked in the field of education for a very long time, and felt led and called to work with people on a more individual level and a family level. I work with a wonderful group practice called Planting Seeds Counseling. We have two offices, one in Frisco and one in Prosper. I am located at the Prosper office. I don't know. Do you need more background, or are you good?
That is fantastic. Thank you. So yeah, I've known Nick for a while, and they help us out a lot with Reengage the Church, and we're so appreciative of that. So Nick, as we record this video, we're in the midst of kind of self-quarantining, and they just recently kind of told everyone to stay home as much as possible. So you and I are both doing that. And so, but I've heard from a lot of people that, this is not just affecting them, but it's affecting their family as well and their kids, and trying to navigate now all of a sudden having to do schooling at home. So everybody's a homeschooler. So how would you think would be a best idea or some good practice for us to talk to our kids and even to help schedule them in this unique time?
Good question. I hear it a lot, especially from my clients in the last week and a half or so. Everybody just became a teacher, right? So for those of us for those that have not taught before, you now know exactly what it's like. Only you do it on a digital platform that most of the parents around here did not grow up using. So it's definitely challenging. Just the being shut in and being in your home with your family 24/7. I joked with a client a couple of days ago a little bit about this, but I think there's some truth to it as well, that I think that every family and every marriage is being tested in America right now. And maybe that's a good thing. But as far as kids and how to talk to your kids about this, how to navigate this with your children, a couple of things that I would say. One is meet them exactly where they're at. If they're not showing signs or symptoms of high anxiety or high stress or anything like that, let's not make that up for them. I think that can be dangerous because even if we're stressed, then our kids are going to pick up on that. They're going to feel that, and then they're going to start exhibiting some of the same behaviors that we see. So what that looks like at home is a lot of calm. And right now, calm is a difficult thing to have and to do. But I think it's essential that we maintain that sense of calm. Especially with our kids. So meet them where they're at, talk to them like they're, if you have a 7-year-old, talk to them like they're a 7-year-old. Let's not pretend like they can understand this on an adult level, because they just can't. So I think that's a big thing. Another big thing is just is keeping kids on a schedule, especially younger children. If they're used to being at school and they're used to, having a structure and having a schedule and being, kind of being told what to do. They need a little bit more direction. And so being very consistent with that, but also give yourself a lot of grace right now. As parents / teachers that we all just became, give yourself a lot of grace and give your children a lot of grace. It kind of goes back to the calm thing a little bit, but be very calm and let's have grace, because stress breeds stress, fear breeds fear, and we want to keep our homes as stress-free or as fear-free as possible.
Yeah, that's such good advice, because none of us have done this before. None of us have homeschooled on this digital platform, and so we're walking in this unique world. My wife is a teacher, and seeing on the other end, the teacher end, they're kind of navigating this for the first time as well. And so
Right.
realizing that give yourself some grace. You're not going to do this perfectly. There's going to be some things you mess up on, but we'll get there. We'll learn from that too.
And
So
give your teachers, I'll add that too. Give your teachers, as a former teacher, I can say this with some confidence. Give your teachers some grace too, because they're, especially your elementary school teachers, because they're doing this for the first time ever as well. They were thrown into this. A lot of the districts around here, they jumped on board, and they're going full force, and they're doing the absolute best that they can. And if we can remain calm in our own home and not put the stress on our children and our teacher or our children's teachers at this time, that'll help in their homes as well.
yeah.
So this extends, as we've been hearing over the last couple of weeks with social distancing and things like that. This extends beyond our own homes as well.
Yeah, and it's so true because, like I even think about what about those teachers that have kids at home? They have to be teaching their kids and doing these things. Like I can't even imagine. Our kids are older, so I can't even imagine what they're having to go through. And so,
Exactly.
so with all that stuff, people, moms and dads, parents are going through all kinds of stresses on their own about this whole new thing, plus just continual stresses of their jobs, maybe financial stuff, health concerns, all that. So, how can we deal with these stresses a little bit better? What advice would you give us to navigate this little stressful season of our lives?
Yeah, and it is stressful. There's no doubt. We can't run away from it, and we can't. Stress is natural. It's actually, trace amounts of stress in our lives is actually a really good thing. Trace amounts of anxiety in our lives is actually a really good thing. It's when it's to the point where we start changing our relationships or treating people a little bit differently or treating ourselves differently that makes a big difference. And that's when we feel stressed, we feel anxious, because there's a difference between that little trace amount of anxiety and stress that's good and then actually feeling and living anxious or fearful or stressful. A big thing right now, we're limited in what we can do and where we can go and things like that. But obviously, I think attitude and I think outlook and mindset have a lot to do with this right now. And even in stressful times, there's a book out there called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and phenomenal book. I would anybody to read it. But she talks about two different mindsets, either a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. Either we have the mindset to look at this as an opportunity for growth, or we're going to stay fixed in our mindset and say, this is what it is. I can't change it. I can't do anything about it. And I can't make myself any better right now. But what that looks like, just some practical ideas are get outside, please, please, please get outside. I know we can't go to Pinstack or Topgolf right now. And those are the places that we shouldn't be going right now. But we can take a walk around in our neighborhood. We can play with our dogs outside. If you have a pool at home and you can heat it, I'd highly suggest it. That's what my children are doing right now. Just get outside, go for a run, go for a walk, talk to people in your neighborhood at a safe distance, obviously, but still connect with people. So getting outside, connect with people. We live in a world right now where FaceTime and Zoom and Google Hangout and in all those other things, we can connect with people anywhere and everywhere. And so I really encourage you to do that. Send a text to somebody that you haven't seen or heard from in a couple of months and just check in on them and say, how are you guys doing? How's your family doing? Is there anything I can pray for you for right now? Things like that. So connect with people, get outside, stick to a routine as much as possible, especially with your kids. We already talked about that. If you have financial stress, if you have job stress right now, which I know a lot of people do, that's a difficult thing to navigate. I don't think that's quite as easy to navigate because that lingering stress is always there. Okay. One of the biggest things I would say to do is think of things rationally. Let's use the rational side of our brain. Let's use the evidence that we have around us. That the economy will come back, that people will start getting outside again and people will start shopping again. We've had, economic downturns in our country before, and we've always bounced back from them. I know that doesn't make things easy right now, but there is another side to this. There will be another side to this. But if we get stuck in that mindset that things cannot get better and will not get better, then we're gonna drive ourselves nuts, and we're gonna do that in our own homes and never get out.
Yeah. So I loved what you said. There was a couple things that, like, just even you mentioned that book by Carol Dweck, like doing some reading, just even a time where I saw a picture of someone today that was an advertisement for Bose, but they're like, I just needed a few moments. They put their Bose noise canceling headphones on just to kind of take care of them for a few moments and just,
Yep.
and do as much to not isolate and like call people. And what a great idea that we can even redeem this time instead of just kind of thinking about survival, but like we're starting to reach out to some people because sometimes we don't have enough time to do that. So take advantage of this to reach out to some old friends or parents or grandparents or just anyone just to kind of check on them and let them know. So
That human connection is so important right now.
yeah, I agree. One last question. So I know that you guys are doing a lot of telehealth where people can do conferences just like this and call in. And so if someone needed to talk, they're just feeling overwhelmed and they can't use the ideas that you've given them, they're still just feeling overwhelmed, they need to talk to someone. How would someone get a hold of you to kind of make sure they're checking in and making sure they're doing all right?
Yeah, so all of our therapists at our office are doing telehealth and offering telehealth right now. For me personally, you can absolutely get in touch with me. Am I giving that phone number here?
Whatever you want to do. So
you can call me. My number is 972-839-0424. That's my direct number. You can get a hold of me anytime for that, or you can text me. I'm okay with text messaging. Just let me know who you are, so we don't make it creepy. Or you can email me at Nick, Nick, at plantingseedsntx.com.
okay.
And we do the platform that we use for telehealth is super easy and super simple. It's an app that you download. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on the iPad. Or you can do it on computer through a link that we'll email to you. And we're operating as if everything is normal. It's not normal, but we're trying to operate that way. And that connection with people, I've remarked to this with my clients all week this week, that I feel so blessed that I'm still able to connect with my clients and connect with people right now, because sometimes we just need to connect with somebody outside of our home right now. And that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And happy to help with that.
Yeah. And I realize that, sometimes people they talk about, there is an expense to counseling and things like that, but man, the alternative sometimes, if you're just feeling overwhelmed, there's that's a lot deeper expense emotionally, financially, physically, all that stuff. And so don't navigate this alone. So Nick, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to play the theme song one last time as we wrap up, just for your enjoyment and for the enjoyment of everyone out there.
Thank you.
There we go. It's beautiful. Well, Nick, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for doing this, and thanks for all the help you've given us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.